Hello, Steve89. Well, I did a video on Friday the 13th a while ago. They have some legal problems, as any fans would know. And where that left off last time was on Thursday the 13th of February this year. Both sides were basically going to make oral arguments. Basically, what happened was Victor Miller claimed that the rights to the original story, which includes the creation Jason, the character he created, would revert back to him, and that's a copyright law. But then, and I think he was given that, and Sean Cunningham of Horror Inc. Appealed basically and claimed that Sean was an employee when he wrote the script, so it was never his script and it actually belongs to Sean. So Victor basically won, and Sean appealed, and it went to a judge, and they both had oral arguments. They're allowed to make a 12-minute statement. Now, what Sean brought up was, he said that Victor was a part of the Writers Guild, which is a union, which makes him an employee, and some people don't really like that. And of course, Victor Miller just sort of, I guess, restated what he already stated before, and that the rights should go back to him. And it can go one of several ways. Either the judge upholds the verdict before that Victor Miller owns the rights, or he will reverse it and say that actually Sean Cunningham owns it, or they will give it to the lower court, because basically there's a whole bunch of elements that need to be decided on, and that's not the judge's decision. They need a jury, so there'll be a jury trial. Or the other issue is basically whoever loses, if there's a decision, whoever loses can appeal to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court apparently only takes about 1%. And if Victor Miller, I mean, they may be interested in the argument that if you're a member of the union, you're automatically an employee, because that has, of course, huge implications with copyright law, and so they would want to get into that. Whereas if it goes the other way, they're not really going to care. So now this, apparently that the lawyers have a season, and it ends in June, so this will be resolved by June, and they will either withhold the decision that Victor Miller owns the rights, or they will agree that Sean actually owns the rights because Victor was an employee of his, or it'll get diverted in some way that will take forever. But because the appeal most likely won't be heard, so if they make a decision and it's appealed, that won't go on very long. But if it gets a jury trial, or if the Supreme Court hears it, it could take years to sort out. Now, I watched a few videos, and it's really cool. They had Larry Zima, who played Shelley in Friday the 13th Part 3. He became a lawyer, and he's actually a copyright lawyer. So he's the perfect person to talk about this. He's done a bunch of videos on behalf of fans, getting into it, and he explained it really well and went into it. But that's basically where it sits. It's Friday the 13th of March, a month later. There's still no answer. It'll be another month, maybe two, before there's an answer, and even then it could stretch out even more. And what will ever happen, either Sean will end up with the rights and he just has all the rights and he can just go straight into making the next film. If Victor Miller gets the rights, then he has to negotiate with Sean so that they can make a Friday the 13th movie, because he owns elements that Sean needs to use to make a film. So it doesn't mean it won't happen, it just means they have to pay him, they have to negotiate. And considering I'm sure these two aren't exactly friendly anymore, that could be a drama, but I mean, it may not be a huge time factor and hindrance, and we may see a Friday the 13th film fairly soon. So it's not resolved. that's where it sits. It's kind of interesting, but it's kind of depressing. It's been 11 years since they did the last Friday the 13th film. 11 years we've been waiting for a new Friday the 13th film. We could have had so many films in the meantime. There was supposed to be a sequel to that one, but there were money issues, and then I think rights issues came into effect. There were issues, then that stopped it. And then they got even more complicated, and it's just dragged on and on and on, and we the fans are the ones who are suffering, because we could have had Friday the 13th films, sequels, and we have nothing. So hopefully this will be resolved very soon, and either someone will end up with all the rights, or the rights will be split and they'll negotiate, so everyone gets paid, everyone's happy, and we can get another Friday the 13th film. Because it's not that there isn't the need for it, it's not that there isn't the fans wanting it, that there isn't a market for it, that it isn't a viable franchise. These are not the issues. The issues have been just copyright issues. So hopefully it'll be resolved really soon, and we won't see a Friday the 13th film by next year, but maybe the year after we might actually get a Friday the 13th film. Please God, I really want a Friday the 13th film. It's been so long. I didn't realize it'd been 11 years until I was looking at this video, and someone mentioned that I was looking at the videos. Okay, well, I'm going to go, and I'm going to go finish watching the Friday the 13th films, because I've been watching every Friday the 13th. I watch all the Friday the 13th films on the Thursday night after midnight I start, and then I do the Friday night as well. And lately I've been stretching the Jason films into Saturday, just so I can get them all done, because it's a lot of movies. But I'm going to go, so feel free to share, like, subscribe, comment. Comments are fun. Let me know what you think, and oh God, I just want this to be resolved. I want everyone to be friends and make films, and, you know, make the fans happy. Thanks, bye.